Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Alexander and today we're talking about Fahrenheit 451 Part 1. I will assume that you have read it, but just so we're on the same page, let's sum up what has happened so far. We've been introduced to Guy Montag, a fireman who burns books like all other firemen. First, Montag meets Clarice, who makes him realise that he's not happy. Then Mildred, his wife, tries to commit suicide and forgets about it the next morning. Then Clarice dies or disappears or something. Then Montag witnesses a woman committing suicide in a fire the firemen started. He then proceeds to steal a book almost without thinking about it. Montag's boss then later has a chat with him about the true history of the firemen and about why burning books is still the right thing to do even if it seems wrong. And finally, Montag reveals to his wife Mildred that he has been collecting books. Right, there's a lot to cover here and we won't have time for all of it, but I would like to cover Mildred's attempted suicide and the kind of ways that people cope with this society. But first, let me read you a quick extract from the very first page. Montag grinned the fierce grin of all men singed and driven back by flame. He knew that when he returned to the firehouse, he might wink at himself, a minstrel man, burned corpse, in the mirror. Later, going to sleep, he would feel the fiery smile still gripped by his face muscles in the dark. It never went away, that smile. It never ever went away, as long as he remembered. After this, Montag meets Clarice, and the very same evening when Montag enters his room, the smile has gone. He felt his smile slide away, melt, fold over and down on itself like a tallow skin, like the stuff of a fantastic candle, burning too long, and now collapsing, and now blown out. Darkness. He was not happy. Now, we're never given an explicit reason for why Mildred wants to commit suicide, but the reason is right here. Montag is not the only one to sometimes be gripped with a feeling of unhappiness. No one is happy. The people who revive Mildred even explain how common this suicide attempt is. However, during the daytime, everyone is so occupied with being rushed from one meaningless activity to another one that no one really stops to think about anything. And it's only at night, when there is nothing else to do but to think, that people start to realise that they're not happy. Interesting side note here, when the firemen are burning the woman's house, Montag asks himself, always at night the alarm comes, never by day. Is it because the fire is pretty by night? More spectacle, a better show. Now, Mildred has pretty much given up and has just succumbed to the way society works. In fact, most people probably live lives like Mildred. Then there are people like Montag's boss, who have a better understanding of what is actually going on, but who nevertheless believe that this is still the way things ought to be. And finally, there are people like Clarice who act differently and refuse to fit in, and people like Clarice disappear. And the problem that Montag faces is that right now he is unsure which of these categories he falls into. So as to keep things short, I'll stop here, but you will hear from me again when I do part 2, and I hope you will also have read it by that point. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and this is The Missing N, signing out.